Hi guys, I'd like to welcome you today to the Hero Slider tutorial for Shopify. My name is Max, I am the developer here at Neno, and today I will guide you a little bit or show you how you can create your first Hero Slider on Shopify. Today we talk about 7 different steps. The first one is how you can install the Hero Slider to your Shopify store or to your Shopify theme. The second one is how you can create and configure your first slider or your first hero slider. The third one is, or in the third one, I explain the difference between a slider and a slide. Then I will guide you a little bit to the user interface of our app. After that, I will explain you how you can position the hero slider on different pages of your store. Then I will give you or show you some options and examples and feature examples or what you can do with the Hero Slider app. And last but not least, I will show you how you can set the Hero Slider in a development mode so that your visitors don't see your development status of the slider. So if you have downloaded our Hero Slider app, the first thing you will see is the payment plan page. At the moment we have only one payment. That's a basic plan. You get a 14-day free trial. So hit the start free trial button. And approve your subscription. So now you will be redirected to our setup or app setup page. Here we have two different options to position or install the app inside your theme. We have at the one side our automatic installation step. This step or this installation is recommended. It works for the most themes perfectly and install our app or position our app automatically inside your theme. You can hit the button here and install it automatically. If it doesn't or it shouldn't work for your theme, we also provide a manually installation. If you hit the button, we will explain or you can follow the instructions and put the app inside your theme code. So for now, hit the recommended automatic installation and install it via the install button. So perfect. Now the app is automatically positioned and installed inside your theme. So after we have set up or installed the Hero Slider successfully to our storefront or our theme, the first thing you will see here is the dashboard. And on the dashboard you have two different options for now. The first option is that you can go back to our setup page here. So this means if you want to reinstall or reposition the Hero Slider to your theme or storefront, you can do this here again. And the second option is that we can create our first slider via this blue button here. So let's hit the button for now. And now we are in the editor view or the visual designer for the Hero Slider. You can see here on the left side we have a lot of different options and settings. And on the right side here we have the preview, which means if you change any of these options or settings here, you can see it directly here in the preview. So the most of these options and the whole user interface I will explain later on in this video. So for now, let's focus to create our first basic slider here. So let's hit the Slides tab and click on the plus button. Now you can see we have created our first slide here. So let's edit it via this pen button and fill some media or some images. So let's hit this image here. And now you can see the image is edited successfully to your slide. So now we want to check how the slider or the result looks in our storefront. So for this, hit the Save Slider button and go to our storefront and refresh the page. Oh, now you can see the Hero Slider is not showing up in your storefront. You cannot see any result. The reason is that if you go back to our slider itself and go under the basic settings tab, you can see this active toggle button here, and you can see the slider is not active, which means by default the hero slider is deactivated. So it's very important, or remember it, it's very important that you set the hero slider on active to see a result in your storefront. So let's do this for now. Click the activate button and save the slider again. If we go now to our storefront and refresh the page, now we can see the hero slider is edited successfully to our storefront. Perfect. So once you have created your first slider successfully, now we'll explain you what is the main difference between a slider and these slides. So if you take a look at this table here inside the dashboard, you can see we have created our first slider here, and this slider contains two slides inside. So if we open this slider here, we are now in the visual editor and open the slides tab here. Here we have our both slides. So this is the first main difference, which means every slider or every hero slider could contain one or multiple slides inside. And the second main difference is that you can override nearly every of these general settings here inside the slider individually, which means now we are in the general settings for the whole slider. And nearly every of these settings here you can override individually for the slides. So now I will give you a little example for this. So open the first slide here, and maybe we want to edit the headline. So open the headline tab and give it a name or text, maybe like headline 01. Go back to the slider, to the general slider settings, open the second slide and give it also a text for the headline, maybe like headline 02. Now you can see it's a little bit dark here. So we go back to the general slider settings here and open the headline text, and now we have set the general color for the headline, so maybe like white. And now you can see the first and the second slider have a white headline color. But maybe you want to give the headline or the headline color for the, or you want to change the headline color for the second slide. You can do this. Go back to the second slide here, open the headline tab again, and now you can override the general settings only individually for this slide. So maybe you want to give it a green color, like this one. And now you can see you have override the general white color individually only for this slide. So this is a general color, and this is a overwritten color for this second slide. And if you go back to the general settings, as I already mentioned, nearly every of these settings you can override individually for these slides. Only functionalities or elements like UI elements wouldn't make sense. So elements like the scroll indicator, the navigation, or the jump navigation here, these elements you can only configure here in the general settings. But I already mentioned the most settings you can override in the slides itself. So now we'll show you the user interface of the app and some functionalities of it. So let's start with the dashboard here. At the top we have our top bar, and at the right here we have our menu, where you can either check or change your subscription plan or visit our other apps for the Shopify App Store. Next to it we have our documentation or help button, which will be redirected you to our documentation page. So if you have any more detailed questions, feel free to click the link and check out our documentation. Also here on the left, We have the changelog button, which shown you this pop-up. And here we can see our new updates for the app and the features and fixes of the updates. So, and here on the middle we have our table, which shown you your created sliders. Here on the left we have the name of the slider. If you click on it, you will be redirected to the visual editor of the slider. Then we have the page here, which shown you to which page you have added the slider. Then we have the amounts of slides inside the slider, the active button or the active status here, and you can remove the slider here if you want. So for now, let's check out the visual designer for this slider here. And as I've already mentioned before, here on the left side now, you can see the general settings or options for the whole slider. If you want to edit each slide or override settings for each slide individually, you can do this by opening the Slides tab and edit the slide here by clicking on the pen button. So now you are in the first slide. Go back to the slider. Also here on the right side, we have our live preview, which means if you change any of these settings here, you can see the changes directly here on the live preview. And you can see results for 3 different devices, for mobile device, for a tablet device, and for a desktop device. It's important, so as we have many settings where you can configure options and settings for different devices, like the headline settings here, you can see the changes directly, maybe, or for example, if you change settings here for the tablet, you can change the preview to the tablet mode to see your changes. So let's close this for now. And also in the preview we have, or you can zoom in or zoom out. Here this plus or minus button, or you can use your mouse. So hold Control and use your mouse wheel to zoom in or zoom out. And if you want a more detailed question on how the preview works, click here on the help button, and here you get a short description to how you can work smooth with our preview. So now we'll explain you how you can position the hero slider or the hero sliders to different pages of your store. So for this, edit this or open this slider here in the visual designer and open the basic settings here. Now focus on this page field. Here you can see your shop domain, which means if you don't fill any content and leave this field blank, this hero slider will automatically position to the home page or home site of your store. So let's check this for now. Open your store, and now you can see here on the home page your hero slider is automatically positioned. But maybe you want to position this hero slider not on the home page but on the shirt page. So for this, open or go to the shirt page and copy this relative URL to your clipboard. Then go back to your app or to our hero slider app and fill the relative URL to the page field. Save it and go back to your store. If you refresh your page now, you can see the hero slider is automatically positioned on the shirt page now. If you go back to the home page, you can see the slider is not here anymore. So let's delete this for now, save it, go back to the home page, refresh the page, and you can see the hero slider is back on the home page. So now go back to the dashboard, and here at the page field of the table, you can see if there's only a slash, this means the hero slider is positioned to the home page or home site of your store. If there's any relative path shown, This means you have positioned the hero slider to another page. So this means you can position the hero slider very easy to different pages. So if you have multiple sliders, maybe you can position the slider on different pages very easily.
So now we'll give you a short instruction, a short overview of some settings and options here, so that you can see roughly what you can do with the app. So for this, again, open the visual editor here for the first created slider. Now you can see all these different options, which you can use to customize the slider perfectly to your brand. So at the moment, I only give you a short instruction, a short overview of some functionalities or some settings and options here. So for this, maybe you want to change the size of the slider here. For this, open the basic settings, and now you can see this size property here. Maybe at the moment the slider is set to fill to bottom screen edge, which means that the slider always appears to the bottom of the screen window. So maybe you want to give the slider a fixed aspect ratio. So change the properties here and maybe give it aspect ratio from 3:1. So now you can see the aspect ratio here is changed here in the preview. If you save the slider again and go to your live store and refresh the page, now you can see the slider has a nice fixed aspect ratio. So, but for now, maybe let's set the settings back to fill to bottom screen edge and save again. And maybe now you want to give the slider here nice, or the image here for the first slide, a nice and smooth animation. So for this, open here the first slide, go to media and change the landscape presentation here, the landscape movement. At the moment set to no movement, and maybe now you want to give it an animation like bottom right to top left. So now you can see in the preview here our image is animated. So save it again. You can also now see the results in your storefront here. Perfect. Now the slider has a nice and smooth animation. So here we also have one of our key options or key settings. You can see we have two options or two different settings for landscape images and portrait images, which means you can upload two images for portrait and for landscape mode. So this means if your store opens in a smaller device, like maybe smartphone devices, you can also set separately images here, the portrait image. So with this option, we can guarantee that you have always a perfect image or an image with perfectly matching to every device. So now we'll show you how you can develop your hero slider so that your visitors don't see your development status. So with this again, open the visual editor here for the slider. And again, open the basic settings and focus now again on the page field here. You can see now you have your shop domain here, which, as I've already mentioned in one of the last steps of this video, this means that the slider here opens in the home page or home side of your store. Now, if you fill this string here, $test equals 1, and save the slider again, now the slider is on a development status or development page of your store, which means if you go back to your storefront, refresh the page, now you can see the hero sliders now gone here in your home page. So if you fill the relative path now, $test equals 1, and open this page, now you can see the hero sliders here in this development status or development page. So now here you can design or test your hero slider, so you can check how the slider looks in your storefront. So you can test the hero slider besides the preview, also directly in your storefront if you want. So thanks for being with us today. If you have any further or any more detailed questions, feel free to contact us under the shown email or visit our website and check out our documentation. So have a nice day and see you. Bye.